This is Dan Max, EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your live market recap for Thursday, October 13th, 2022. If you're watching the live version after the fact, go to the 6 minute and 15 second mark. Start from there. Can I get a mic check? 1, 2, 1, 2. What is this? Excellent day. Have a lot to talk about. If you watched the morning live chat, you hopefully had the confidence to act. And if you didn't, it's okay. There'll be many of opportunities. This is a trader's market. We're going to talk about it all. Try to keep you prepared. Appreciate the love, the generous donations, the insights. Got to give a shout out to everybody involved. I really, I think sometimes people realize or don't realize this is not not easy. No, you obviously know that. It's not easy at times. But the key is what? Having your plan and sticking to it. And I have to give credit to one of our members, Roth Khan. I mean, he literally laid it out. I was a day early. I thought yesterday because I anticipated the short squeeze. I just didn't know where it would start. He called 350 or below. Guess what? You go below 350 for 20 minutes, rip right back over time, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now, why and how did this happen? Again, we always talk about traps are what they are. The sentiment, chasing, all those things, problematic. Very problematic. We'll talk about it, but am I talking to myself? Can I get a mic check just to double check? Discount double check. Discount double check. Discount double check. Discount double check. Anybody there? All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, today, people don't realize, when you look at the charts for thousands of hours and you spend time studying the past, which I don't think people realize, staring at the present moment charts, if that really garnered a stronger edge in trading, people would get better. The key is watching film, replaying live action. Now, again, you can get pretty good watching the live action, but think about a professional athlete. What are the things that they do to prepare for a game? What are the things they do to prepare for their opponents? What are the things they do to prepare to find things to improve upon with their own trading? What do? They study the past. They study their mistakes. They watch their film. Exactly. If you're not doing that, and again, you don't have to spend all day doing it, but if you're watching the market live, remember, you're not really gaining experience on a exponential level. You watch the film. You rewind. You play guess the next candle. You try to look for repeating patterns. You read the books. This is a game where, I say this all the time, you can't just show up with a basketball and expect to dominate. You're going up against institutions, hedge funds, market participants that have millions to billions of dollars of research and potential. We're just trying to follow what they're doing. We want to know what the market maker is doing. The market makers are doing. Shannon, I'm the same way. I am always trying to anticipate the move. You guys see how I'm always trying to predict and put together the plan for how the market's going to act, react, and what it's going to do. It's not easy. No, don't. It's not. You're not, and you're also not always going to be right. And there's where, risk management above all else, ego aside. Trading is, again, if you've watched Randy Howell's videos, you realize it's a probability-based game. Your mind is affected by your emotions. Your emotions manage your reactions. If you are frustrated or hostile or angry, you're going to act differently than if you're cool, calm, and collected. Think of this again. You're playing a sport. You're going up against an opponent. If you lose your cool, what are the odds you're going to make a mistake? Right? What if you live in the past from a prior mistake? Again, I always love referencing Tom Brady, not because of who he is as his like his persona that is public, but his mindset of how he plays football. The guy is a freaking winner. Always wins. Do you think he focuses on the passes he makes that are mistakes? Or is he always looking to the future and anticipating the right things because he practices? Whoa, look at that. Super chat. Thank you, Colton. That was incredibly generous of you. I appreciate it. Now you guys know I do this for free. I don't fear competition in trading. Some people are like, oh, you can't share this stuff with people. I don't care. It's going to happen whether it happens. The masses that are listening to this channel and doing what we're doing do not. Zero effect on the market. We're nothing. We're dust in the wind or farts in the wind. Flea on the dog. Can't even feel it. Well, congrats, man. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I want to hear more. That's the goal. A lot of people just, again, we'll talk about this here in a second. Let me start the video because, again, I like to do live so we can talk as I'm going through this, but also I like to record this and send this out to friends and family who can't hang out with us all day, potentially. All right. Let me turn off the alarms. Yeah, I hear you. And let's start recording. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Thursday, October 13th, 2022. Let's get into it. A very interesting day. I think a lot of people who follow know that we're anticipating a big bounce. Why? Because sentiment was in the trash. Everybody's bearish. Huge amount of outstanding puts. The market overweighted one direction. It always leads to a pop. Remember, bear market is a trader's market. So if you're struggling, check out a lot of the content on the YouTube channel. We try to anticipate the moves. We try to give you the back to basics. There's 52 of them now. Educational videos about specific mechanisms within how the markets work. Bear traps. Posted it. Did a live trade this morning about 45 minutes after the open. Talked about what I was seeing, how I thought everything actually looked bullish. Not surprised. We rip face today. So if you have any questions and you're watching this live, if you want to interrupt about something that's pertinent to the current chart, please do. If not, stick around. We will be talking at the end. I'm going to go open mic. I appreciate everybody's love, support, donations. Again, I do not fear competition in this. I want to help people. You fill your own cup by helping others. A lot of people might say, it's a waste of time. When the student is ready to teach your peers, I was emotional this morning because I know people have helped me. I'm not going to pretend that I'm always right and that somehow I'm just above that. I'm not. All right, Bitcoin. Interesting day of nothingness. Again, Bitcoin's just, this is what I've seen in gold or certain dead markets. Once they lose their luster, think of tech in the 2000s. You hope it comes back. But you'd rather probably be late than early. This is a party that might not start for 12 hours. And this is like going to watch a Saturday night football game and you show up at 6 a.m. with beers, brats, and burgers. You're going to be sitting in your car for a while potentially. So better to show up when the action confirms. Now, how would you say the action confirms? It's really hard. You're in a chop zone. You need to get above 25,000. Now, that's a big runway. But what if it plays this game? You don't know. I'm adding natural gas futures at the start. I have been banging the drum the last couple days. Almost like 2 weeks. Watch these levels. It's going to get cold outside. Now, a lot of people are anticipating oil and gas to go higher because that's the drum we've been beating. Today's action, inventory numbers didn't matter. I see a higher low. No complaints here. Everyone asked, did you sell any of your oil or get natural gas? Zero of it. None of it. Didn't touch it. Let's go into U.S. oil. Nope. All. What did we say this morning? Watch this zone right here. It's obviously a 0.236 on this fib. When you zoom back, it's also the top mid-80s. Talked about it. I don't know why I didn't draw and save, but I apologize. I didn't just draw this now. You guys know I don't do that. I never play hindsight 2020 Monday quarterback, right? Kind of situation. I'll admit when I'm wrong, or I'll admit when I'm getting, because we're gonna talk about tech. Like, I honestly thought tech would bounce earlier, but I said laggards lag, leaders lead. Luckily, we have not been long tech at all. So I know some people put on trades today. Congratulations. The people that shorted it, again, golf clap. Awesome. Had no longs. Once we got stopped out in September and it broke, we'll talk about it. Leave it alone. Now it pops. Cool. Let's do. Whole market is. I've said, and I'll say it again, oil is probably the key to what the Feds do next. If you want the bear market to continue, then you need to see oil and gas go higher. Because right now, I've said this over. GDP, minus 0.7%. Interest rates, 6% in the mortgage market. Historically, pretty normal. Market being down 30% as it was at the lows, that's not, I mean, we're not recipe for disaster yet. You know how the recipe for disaster is? Oil and gas go higher, unemployment continues to creep up in time, and the Feds have to press the accelerator to kill commodities. That's how I think it plays out. That's why the leaders are leading. That's why things in the commodity space are making higher lows. That's how I anticipate the market's going into meltdown mode later. Now remember, the Feds don't meet till November. We got a big vacuum. You've got a midterm election, and the incumbents are going to try to pretend everything is okay. Please be careful. This whole talk of peace, I said that last week. 2 weeks ago, I said, I would not be surprised if El Putin tries to pretend like there's peace and then go full blast in a week or so, right before the election, just to make the incumbents look silly. I don't know anything for certain, but again, we're trying to paint the picture for how the market's going to play out. That's what you should always try to do. So that's my thoughts. I think oil and gas go higher. We still have bottlenecks. We still have countries still trying to get off oil and gas, but they have no alternative. Silly. The dollar. This is why I thought market was going to honestly pop yesterday. I mean, it looked like, we talked about doji and sideways. Look what the dollar did. Watch the open is like, I probably need to pull up some 10-minute charts because this is going to be a day of reckoning. Right? The UUP. Look at the open. Right? Open's high. Started long wicking. Good day, mate. Throw another shrimp on the barbie. Closes at near the lows. 8 days key. What did I say? Yeah, UUP doesn't look good. Dollar does not look good. This is a lower high. Is this not confirming a lower high? Do you not think the market's going to get so excited if the dollar just pulls back for, maybe it's just like this, 5-6 days? We don't know. Things that aren't bearish. And this is why, again, you're going to see how I tried to anticipate this. And now people are like, but you were off by a day. You should have waited for this. Tell me that after the fact, great. But I guarantee CPI was 8.2 versus 8.1%. 0.1 off. A nothing burger. I was talking about this in the Discord room. Nothing. Market loves when it's not surprised, because then it prices in things over and over and over. The morning's number was just a trap. If you don't know what a trap is, go to my YouTube channel, right? Bull and Bear Traps. Talk about it. It's the first. If anyone is here listening was in the Discord room, how many times did I say this morning? The first move in a trap is what? I think I typed it at least a dozen times, and only one person responded. The first move in a trap is the side that's getting trapped. Again, the market can't take your money. You have to donate it. Keep that in mind. TLT, what do we say? As long as bonds are stable. Looks like someone's buying them down here. It's just hold. Whatever the 10-year, 2 years, like 3, 4, 5%, whatever those round numbers are for each particular bond. Like, just stability. Bond stability. The market can live off of that. It hates when bonds just continue to go higher in yield and just chop isn't a bad thing. The VIX. Scott, you here, buddy? He said the same thing this morning. At the open, the VIX was not making new highs. Red flag. Red alert. Dude. And again, sorry if I pound the table and loud. People who are wearing headphones are like, dude, you're so loud. And I'm like, whatever. I'm trying to make points here. And I apologize. Turn the volume down if it's too loud. Not trying to hurt your ears. It's trying to accentuate the important things. Look at the VIX. Market making new lows. What did the VIX do, y'all? It didn't confirm, eh? Okay. I've said this. I think the VIX, I don't know how it does. It fills the gap, but maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. At worst, maybe back to the 20s. If everybody's bearish, everybody has puts, put call ratios are at insane levels, trillions of dollars of nominal put outstanding. Do you think the market maker ain't going to try to manufacture a rally? And if the market makers work with the news outlets and the media and CNBC and Bloomberg and all these outlets, Blue Horseshoe loves Anacott Steel. Blue Horseshoe would love a bear market rally to wipe out both sides. Bears today, bulls later. Does this make sense? Sometimes I don't know if I'm just talking about people's heads. If you have questions, interrupt now. You've got 20 seconds. I want people to see like this. You're going to see evidence of things that didn't confirm. But everyone's like, oh, but you didn't call the bottom at the lows. Well, no. But the evidence didn't confirm it either today. That's what made this difficult. And if you think trading is going to be easy all the time, you're deluded and lying to yourself. It's like saying you're never going to lose in a sport, never going to lose and be beaten by an opponent. You're going to go undefeated. People who act like they never lose aren't real traders. The most humble traders are the people who actually win. I try to eat humble pie every night. That's why, again, I am always very appreciative of any donation support of the channel, because if you're using this information, I know it's beneficial. I'm just sorry I don't have a crystal ball that I'm always right and say, be right this minute. That's hard. Nobody does that. Think about the institutions who spend unlimited amounts of money just to be right 80% of the time. We do that equivalently for free. You got it? Yep, Dwayne, I see you in the Discord room. This little area here, the confluence of moving averages. I see it. I see you. I was just thinking that, how they are all crossing. That might be it. Good call. Good call. Again, I can read what's going on in Discord room. SPY. Again, got to give Roth the credit. He said 350s. Bait bears. Let them walk the plank. Jump in at the lows. Here, look at the 10-minute. I mean, unreal. Opening bar. 640 after CPI. I mean, you had 10 minutes to make a decision. Things that aren't bearish. Now, this is why it's always so hard. Like, puking at the lows, that's why I always say, like, give it a few minutes off the open. But if you're anticipating this move, this is what it ended up actually looking like. This is what's ironic. I thought it was going to be something like this. Right here. At worst. Maybe not. Just a double bottom. What do you see over here to the left? Even then, what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see this? Do you see that? I said anyway, either way, when the when the SPY, SPX, whatever, ES moves 80 points with barely a pop, you're going to get some volatility at some point. We talked about shorting that. Did not continue shorts. Oops. Thought that was going to be a bottom. Wasn't. Hey, it ends up being a repeating pattern. I mean, again, if you can minimize your losses, I'm getting tons of emails, tons of DMs of people who are killing it in the nicest way possible. I mean, really doing well. That's the goal here. I'm not going to complain about how I'm doing. Could it be better? I think what hurt me more was going out of town. A lot of y'all know I went out of town for a funeral. That was pretty painful. But we made lower lows and bounced back shortly after. Now playing gas, playing a few names. We'll talk about them. This action is probably not going to be a one-day event. Hence, why would I sell on the first day? If I am anticipating something like this in the orange or something like this, see how I have the 20-day? That would be the first spot that I think we pull back or would get weak on. It's 20-day, right? Talked about it here. Talked about it being important. Again, I don't know if I'm talking to myself because there's no comments, but it's good content. Watch the 20-day. If it gets over the 20-day, which it did here, expect some sort of consolidation range, probably at a prior volume at price zone. 390s. Maybe 380s. I don't know. Let me zoom out. Man, this is the 390s. The tracking bar. Take notes, please. I mean, first 20-day. Next 380s. Next 390s. Average bear market correction is 17%, like the major ones. If it's 17%, that would take you to 400. Keep that in mind with right? 348. What's 10% of that is almost 35 points. Another half of that, 16, 18, 70 points. Yeah, you do the math, right? It's going to take you up to the 390s, 400. Sorry, I don't have the exact math in my brain, but just kind of rounding. Does this make sense? Clear? Anybody? Again, is my mic working? Talking to myself? I don't know. Hope this is clear. This is not a one-day event. This is a like they always say, reversion to the mean within the market. That's what you're seeing right there. That was the wipe out the bears. Goodbye. Now there's going to be talk of bullishness. Everybody's good. Everything's going to be fine. Probably. I don't know, man. Probably not. But it's a bear market. Trader's market. The end is what? The end is a straight line move. Notice what I want y'all to see. And this is, I guess, why I think if we get the play that we think, this is the action I want to, you want to set up for. Gap, 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 goodbye. I don't want to, it just felt like we were going to be in this choppiness. I felt like it was going to be choppy today. And it's starting it. Now, again, just make a slightly higher high like you did here, which would take you up into maybe the 390s. Or, and I hope it's not this, because we had this pattern twice. Pop, double bottom, then much higher. Pop, double bottom, much higher. Y'all seeing these repeating patterns? If the market really is bottoming, we would really need some dynamic changes. And as of right now, I think we all agree there isn't. The next leg is going to be dependent upon commodity prices. Because the Feds are at this mandate. They're 8 years too late raising rates. Kind of crazy to think that. So they're behind. Their credibility is totally in sight. They want to continue to be the power that is. Now that we've talked about that, the Qs said leave them alone. We talked about this. I mean, once you broke this level, it was game over. But look what happened. Zing, pow. Laggard's going to lag. Please leave tech alone. If you don't know why I hate tech long term, it's because inflation kills deflationary assets that have narrowing margins. That's why commodities leads. You are going to want to be a commodity bull the next 3 years when it's time. If you don't know, watch the videos, get involved, hang out. You'll see. I talk about it constantly. This action, not probably a one-day event. Even here. Tech, leave it alone. IWM, things that didn't confirm bearishness. Now, again, I've been talking about the IWM leads. If you don't remember, talked about the IWM peaking in November. Markets didn't peak till December and January. Look what it's doing here. Made a higher low. Sorry, I'm like way all over the place. Way over. Man, I sound like a freaking stupid teenager. Does not take out the lows, right? Equivalents. Close enough for government work, I guess, technically. But again, if you watched it off the open, like yours truly was, what'd you see? What did you see? 9:30. Immediately pops right back. Dan knows when you're in a bear trap. Remember, what is the market maker trying to do? Trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. If the market maker has endless liquidity to cover into, you take it. Who here has not read Livermore's book? Because that's one of the things he talks about, is the news and the liquidity. To be a market operator who is carrying a large line, you need to take opportunities where inventory is available to either cover or sell into, or cover and buy into or sell into. That happens. That's what they're going for. That's why the market isn't a economy and the economy isn't the market. We talk about that. Let me sip on some water. Does that make sense? Because if the market is the market operators and they're playing games and we're just trying to swim in their wake, do you not think that gap down today in the market was a absolute gift for them to clear? If you've read the Livermore book, listened to it a dozen times like I ask you to, you remember that part. You remember that. Gold. Back test the trend line to a T. What have I said? When the market is ready, nothing is safe. Nothing will be safe. If gold isn't making new lows, is that bearish? No. Anyone watch silver today? Not even close to the lows. It rallies back up. GDXJ, man, got JNUG around 26, which is equivalent to what? Where we closed. Look at the gap down. Things that, now people are starting to say head and shoulders bottom. I see it. I just don't trust it. I don't trust gold because if you think about where it's come from, year-end selling, tax loss selling, we'll see. The miners have potential. Play it level to level. If you bought it today at the lows, because you identified the ranges, you can see it. 28 to 28. 27 I saw. Apologize. Easy peasy. Now again, it's a commodity. It's technically commodities. It's just not the ones that I'm ideally looking at. All right. GDX. Silver Sleuth said, look at that action, homie. I was like, yeah, that doesn't look bearish. Look at this stuff, man. You want to talk about a bear trap? Opening candle. Bleh. Puked. It comes right back. Get caught in that a couple times, like I have. Ask yourself this. Will you learn from that mistake? Will you chase and sell? No, you'll observe. AG. Man. Talked about it, getting up in the 8s or 9s, pulls back. Look at it, holds the confluence and moving averages, closes at the highs. Again, if the market's about to peel like an onion and start crying, this stuff needs to be breaking lows. We need confirmation from everything. Nope, we're not. AEM. Remember, this is the one, y'all. I'm telling you, this is the bigger miners that I trust that's going to be the leader in the next bull market. Because why? Because the buyers are there. The market talks. What's up, cat? And the cat talks. Come here, girl. Talk. Anyway. Opens. Drops. Comes right back. Things that aren't bearish. Do y'all see this? We're just barely into gold. Newmont. Junky Newmont mining. Retest the lows. Even holds. I hate Newmont. Even that piece of junk holds the lows. PAAS. Did the buddy pass? Literally. Higher low, close at the highs. Let's talk about tech because now, first thing I want to say, SMH, right? It's been leading down, guiding down. Everyone's guiding down. Who here remembers me saying, did anyone see Micron yesterday? Do y'all remember me talking about Micron? Because they were one of the first ones to guide down. If you're paying attention to the market, if you're not, just trust me. I said, look at this action earlier. Yesterday and then the week before, or the day before. That is not bearish. That is not bearish. This is not bearish, making higher highs. Things that make you go, come here. Come on, cat. Jump in my lap. Come on, girl. Nope. I don't know if you can hear her purring. She loves her dad. So that's kind of something. No, that was an anomaly. Not that I was saying go buy Soxel, but remember, Soxel is going to suck. It needs a reverse split. AMD. Doji. Opens at the lows, closes at the high. Big volume on its guide down. I'm not saying this thing's going back to where we said short it. Golf clap. No. But it's due to rally. How much? Look at this. You can get 10, 15 points. Now that it's been beaten, and so here, when I say leave laggards alone, stick to leaders, here's why. Think about the psychology of folks who own this stock. Anybody who bought from 165 basically to 60 or less has been wrong. On any pop, what do you think they get? Sellers. Talking real nice and quiet because that's the truth. I've been there. Have you ever had a stock that you just were like, this thing's not going well? Any pop, I'm selling it. Well, imagine that's all of AMD. That is all of what? NVIDIA? Now, again, they should pop. I'm not saying if the market pops, these will pop. But you see how these look like junk as we get to commodities soon? Like these, leave these alone, y'all. If you want to trade them, be my guest. They're trading vehicles. These are not the leaders. So you should not expect them to lead. However, let them pop and you want to start shorting them again, come to daddy. We love you. SMH. Look at the volume today. Gaps down. Turns right around. How high could it go? People keep asking. 2 hundos. Remember, you had this action where it went choppy, made a lower low, came back. Now, I know that's a little aggressive, but same thing. It's an absolute laggard, right? It's an absolute laggard. I mean, if you bought this in the last year, you were just kicking yourself because you've been literally, you ever heard like the upper left, lower right? That's your trend. Upper left, lower right. Oh, but damn, people need tech. No, they don't. Adobe. Talked about this weeks ago. You could probably sell the 275 puts after the gap down because it has already taken an absolute beating. Opens at the lows, closes at the highs. Y'all see, this is probably not a one-day event. Hopefully this becomes very clear. Apple. Got stopped out of it. Look what happens. Opens, closes at the highs. Where's my salty dog, Weatherman 21? Are you listening? Trying to troll like, hey, how's your Apple long? Like, dude, we got stopped out. We played it. That was a pretty good trade. Played that. After that, you were gone. Remember we talked about stopping at 150? Does anyone remember that? 150 said you got to leave it alone. 150 was the line in the sand. Well, now it's dropped from 176 and change down to 135. It's due for a green candle. Here you go. It's due for something like this. Right? This is not a leader. I'm telling you, this isn't a leader, y'all. Because you're going to see the oil and gas names come out. They are strong. People are, again, money talks. Opinions walk. You and I are not making enough money here to move the market. Keep that in mind. Let's just wrap through tech because it all looks the same. Amazon. Talked about it. Things that aren't bearish. It's actually holding up just like Apple. It's not at the low lows. Low, 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 low. YOLO, low, low. But it's a upper left, lower right. Right? It's a laggard. It's a lagger. No, I mean, just retested the range lows, bounced. Cool. Should pop. Keep it simple. Stupid. CRM. Said leave this one alone. Once it broke like with the 156 and then it made this little chop zone and it popped back up. Upper left, lower right. Names you don't want to own. Trade them if you must. I will not be. The only trade on tech is short. That is my trade. But I need to see a decent pop. I'm not going to short continuation. I just will not. I will wait for levels to break, or I'll just wait for pops. Even if you get this, I mean, I would rather, look at this, just wait a day or a couple days. Please do not try to short the red candles, the big red candles at the low. Meta, piece of junk. We've said this since 155. Get out of the way. Somebody was talking junk saying, oh, you're an idiot. Meta is so undervalued. I'm like, define value on a company whose growth is shrinking. Yeah, big tech, go broke. Get woke, go broke. Hits the channel lows. Hey, look at that. Those channels worked. 120, close at the highs. Things that aren't bearish. Good old Microsoft. We said leave this one alone, right? Once it broke, and then it rallied back, we were like, oh, you missed it. And it's like, whatever. I was hoping it, just praying for a couple dollars higher. Didn't happen. Well, look what happens. Nice bounce. Channel low. We'll see. NDAQ. gets an upgrade, I think, today. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe. Doesn't matter. Should have shorted it here. Oh my God. This is why we don't chase. I mean, imagine if you shorted trying to get the breakdown. Today you got a big fat green candle up your, you know what, MicroStrategy. Again, things that aren't bearish. It's like, this thing should be tanking. It's holding up. Opens at the low, closes at the high. Netflix. I was watching this at the open. Anyone else see this thing was like rallying right back? Did I not say yesterday on the recap? Or not yesterday. 2 days ago, I didn't do a recap yesterday. I apologize. I got super busy. Got done at 9 o'clock. I was like, last thing I want to do is a recap. Held the 100-day. Things that aren't bearish, y'all. I'm just telling you, this isn't the next meltdown. You need to wipe out some bulls first and some bears first. Roadblocks, higher lows. Tesla hit the 206 area. Look, range lows. You could have played that. I think somebody did. Congrats. Very technical. Bounces right back. Remember, we're short. I still have Tesla Q and Tesla Q calls for December from up here. And this is the only tech that I didn't let go of because I know this is going much lower. I've said it. And to me, it had the best risk reward. Again, Elon selling green energy, green tech, no transition plan. We'll see. If it breaks you know what happens if it breaks the 200s. Adios, amigo. Now that we've finished tech, and you see why, not any pop, give it a couple days. Remember, the first dip is usually bought. Wait for that. I don't know, 240, 250, maybe 260. That'd be crazy. Seem crazier. Let's get into their favorite tech or commodities, our sector, X. Congratulations. Again, not near the lows, but we've said X is a very choppy, sloppy girl. Long term, very choppy. Not upper left, lower right all year. No, I mean, this thing is, I would consider this a monster base. You know what happens with a monster base? A monster run. We'll see. I don't know if it's bottoming. I would prefer when the VIX spikes to 50 plus, maybe 80, 100, who knows. I mean, we're in due for like the central banks. When they lose control, it's going to get fugly. They'll throw the baby out with the bathwater, and they'll throw commodities and gold. I'll talk about that here. I already talked about gold and silver, Scott, but gold and silver have been going up when the market goes up for the past several weeks. Did it surprise you that they lag behind today? I added to my positions. Scott, I didn't add to gold or silver because I don't expect them to lead because they typically don't. Unless, again, seasonality and that, I don't know, that if peace is coming, if that's the rumor, then gold and silver might not pop. We'll see. I mean, silver might. Gold and silver are tough. Trust me, the best time you just got to trade those. I bought some JNUG. Y'all know this. I'm basically flat on it. I didn't add to it. I added to gas. I added to CF. I added to EQT. Added to SPY. At this point, I said this many times, I would not be surprised if we get to the low 20s. As we talk about, the first dip gets bought if there's like a trend flip. Here you go. And now again, this could be just days. But this is bullish. Absolutely bullish. Nucor, big base. Big base. He's got a big base. Just kidding. A little bit change up my voices here. Look at that. Is that near the lows, y'all? What did we say? I said probably goes up to the 130s at one point. Do you notice how coming off the lows, these names are making potentially higher highs? This is showing you where the money is going. And it ain't going to the laggards aggressively as it is supporting the leaders. Do y'all see this? Can I get one yes? Because a lot of charts are going to look like this. VALE. Nowhere near the lows. Fills the gap. Pops up. CC Senor. I personally, again, the emerging market, I like this thing in the 11s. But it could be big base. You like it a big base. Arrow. Copper. Holy good gosh. We talked about it. Look at that. Broke out. Break out. Break out. I don't know how high it's going. But does this look bearish? to y'all. June 2nd high. Yeah, I see that. Does this look bearish, though? You look at the market and you look at these names. Remember, when the market was puking, these are all dropping with it. I mean, again, if the market's going lower, tech is going lower. This stuff is holding up well. The last phase, they'll bring all of this down. But yeah. Yeah, don't sell your leaders yet. CCJ. Going vertical, meaning vertically integrated. Buying company, buying Westinghouse. They're going to start building nukes. They got the inputs, and they're going to build nuclear power plants. Might be the boss of bosses later. Now again, they got penalized because the market was junk. I still think it probably gets back to the 16-18 range, but holding up pretty good. Since November of last year, as the market looks lower left, upper left, lower right, this is just holding up. The baby will go out with the bathwater. Congrats to those who shorted up here, because I said I think it probably fails. Got lucky, I guess, technically, but whatever. Down is down, right is right. Sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right. Let's call that that's a win. Good old CF. Who here owns CF? Me. Bought it this day, because I was like, something seems wrong here. Doji at the 100-day. Talked about it, trading up to here. Traded around the position. I bought it the 50-day. Terrible buy. I think of Jay's here. Jay Solstice. He was buying it on the 50-day. Look at this. Higher low. The market's imploding. And CF is like, hey guys, what's going on? What are y'all nervous about? I just smoked a fat blunt and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Feeling real green. Look at that. Closes at the highs. He's pointed out that there is a kind of like an inverted head and shoulders. Left shoulder, right shoulder, head. I said this gap probably fills. Gap tooth. So my guts to fit. If you know that rap lyric. Maybe that gap gets filled. Again, tech. Upper left, lower right. This, lower left, upper right. What is leading up? What is not? Okay. Just being silly. Trying to make it entertaining. Mosaic. Not opens higher. Closes at the highs. Not bearish. Let me just run through these. Nutrien, the old pot combination, I think with Agrium. Correct me if I'm wrong. I used to trade POT, and that thing used to be a boss. If you remember POT, and you traded it in the 2000s, drop something. Super chat for 50 cents. I don't know. Or drop a, I remember that. 2-for-1 splits, 3-for-1 splits. That thing was fire. Here you go. The old potash. Yep. Opens at the lows, close high. Nowhere near the July lows, though. Interesting, Dan. Let's go into XBI real quick. I just like to bounce around. Try to wrap this up shortly. Sask Potash. XBI. Is that near the June lows? Is it even lower than the September lows? I don't think so. Opens at the lows, closes at the highs. Market ain't rolling over. Just telling you now. XLF. We said watch the 30 area. Okay, Dan, it broke down below. Oh, good. What did I say is coming on Friday? Bank earnings. Well, that short didn't work if you took that in the morning. Things that aren't bearish. Also notice too, let me take you to the monthly on the XLF. We are hanging out in the party zone. This little blue zone is pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Now, I'm not saying financials are going to the highs again. But I wouldn't be surprised if they bounced and pulled the market higher the rest of the next week. Maybe we get... I'm drooling to buy the short the FAS. Y'all know that. Oh, come on, 30s. 30s. Somewhere 33s. Come on. Look at Morgan Stanley today. Said it this morning. I'm like, man, this thing is not breaking the lows in the 70s. And look at the action. If you watch it in the 10 minutes, it's like, zing, close to the highs. I think after hours, Jamie Dimon. The Jamie Dimon bottom. Remember, we talked about that a couple days ago. Jamie Dimon buddy passing. Going on TV saying the world's going to end. All of his buddies are covering their shorts. You know that we know that. Call that the buddy pass. It's when brokers upgrade or downgrade stocks at highs and lows, and they do the opposite. Well, Jamie Diamond's opening his pie hole, talking about another 20% down. Even his crappy stock that doesn't have a buyback rips back. Are y'all seeing this? I mean, is it clear that things don't look that bad? Let's go into the party animal leaders. XOP. Actually, we'll start in oil. My bad. My bad, dog. Talked about it. Hitting 93. You saw it on the oil futures. Backs off. Is that bearish? No, it's not. No. UNG, we said watch the 22 area. Oh, but Dan, it didn't bottom in one day. Okay. I mean, when does it bottomed in one day? We talked about that being a retest of some sort. I was hoping the 200-day. Well, I was wrong, but it made a higher low. As the market made new lows. Upper left to lower right. Lower left to upper right. What? Does gas look solid? I think so. Well, let's look at the oil service names, because the oil service, right? Like they're gonna do a lot of business in the sector. How do they look? Everybody wanted to buy drip. I'm like, you gotta stop it. Stop it. We talked about watch the mid 40s, backs off. Look, and said this yesterday. Watch what happens here at the confluence of the gap and the moving averages. But Dan, didn't you put a video out on multi-day ranges? I did. Why? Because they're important. You iron out the lows. Look at that. Right back. What do you see here? You're either going to retest 150s or you're going to fill the gap if oil rises. ExxonMobil. I mean, I kicked out someone out of our Discord room because, I forgot to do solar. We'll do that here in a second, but whatever. I mean, I was not trying to be mean, but I'm like, why are you shorting ExxonMobil? Held the 200-day, backed up 2 days. Then it went, and he was like, oh, I covered at 90. I covered at 87. I shorted 87, covered at 89, and then disappeared for a week. I'm like, that's not honesty. When I'm wrong, make fun of me. I don't care. I mean, I'm going to admit it. I don't have an ego where I have to pretend that I'm always right. Because I want you guys to realize, like, nobody is. Like, I'm not trying, again, I'd be a terrible person to mislead people to think that I am never wrong or that trading is a game where we never lose. Lower left to upper right. Do you see these are leading? Talked about this range holding. Look what happens. I think we're going back up to the new highs, y'all. 108. EQT, our little favorite gas play. Gap's down today. Does it make new lows? It couldn't even make new lows, y'all. It filled the gap on what, Tuesday? Turnaround Tuesday? Right back here. I mean, 47, 50s. I don't know. I mean, easy. Cheap options, cheap stock. Look at this name. Since November of 2022, as the market goes, bow, this is holding up high and tight. Remember, bear market, it's going to get choppy. At some point, they will pull this down. Happens. Not a problem. Even Occidental Petroleum. Even Buffett's name. Look at that. Lower left, upper right. Held the confluence of moving averages in a gap. All right, let's end it with solar. First solar. Congrats if you shorted. I did not. I shorted up here. Y'all know I shorted 142s. Go check the record books. Covered in the 130s. Mid 130s. Left it alone. Dan, you better be short. I can't. I feel like the market's going to pop. Look what happens. Open lows, close at the highs. Back with the 50-day. Pray you see 138, 137 to 140. Because then just short. I will be shorting. You don't need any ask for my permission. Sedge. We talked about this. Is a piece of junk. Bounces back. Man, I think that's probably the freaking short of shorts then. Got to be careful. This could be a bear trap temporarily. Let it pop. ENPH. Folks who shorted it. Hallelujah. Nice action. But look what happens. Gap downs, closes above the 100-day. Pray for 290s. 280s. Tan got cooked. Look at that. Gap down, close at the highs. Is this an outside reversal candle? Remember that, like, here's the same thing, the opposite direction. I think so. Opposite direction kind of thing. Y'all seeing this? Now, again, I love solar short. Every day there's people knocking on our door. Do you have solar in your house? Nope. Do you want it? No, I don't want to borrow $20,000 to replace my energy bills with a $200 monthly lease payment. No, absolutely not. All right, I appreciate the love, support. Going to stop recording. Be safe out there. I'm going to stick around for a couple minutes, answer questions. Holler if you need me. You know where to find me. I appreciate the love, the support. It's all good. What's up? What y'all got? What do we got? What do y'all got? Look at that. Inertia in rents and home ownership costs will take time to run right. Shelter costs will support core inflation for a while, so plenty of Fed rate hikes to come. Snarky. That's why I'm buying more real estate. Because you're getting discounts on properties, even though you're paying more. Obviously higher interest rates, but the rents are not going to go down. I agree with you, buddy. I agree. That's what's been consuming me, is trying to get a renter in our new investment property. I've priced the market pretty high because I expect inflation to come. The average market price is what? Approximately $3,400 for the place that we're looking to rent. We list it for $37,000. I'm not locking in a year lease knowing that rents will go up at least 10%. Keep in mind, though, when people aren't buying, the rents will go higher. If they're not buying because they're scared, they have a place to live, they move to Denver. Now, again, I don't know if you're a market. Nashville, probably crazy. But if the interest rates go higher and people can't afford to buy, it's not like they're going to move, not move to somewhere, right? They're going to do that. If they have to move, take a job, transfer. Denver's a strong jobs market. Biggest hospital within 500 miles around here. Services, Wyoming. All of Colorado. Parts of New Mexico. Parts of Texas. Parts of Kansas. Ooh, it is a paradise to rent because people just keep moving here. Anyway, non-real estate related, but look at the ES futures, y'all. Look at that. Zing, look below, double look below from the June lows and the September lows. Rates going up can mean more renters. That's what it is. Does anyone have any questions? Because it's funny. I was joking about Solomon trolling me, and again, the only reason why I talk about people who might troll me that I actually care about, because if I let someone in the Discord room, I hopefully have established a relationship. Somebody at some point I've talked to, either over the phone or direct chat. He hit me up today and was like, "Man, I'm really sorry. I was trashing you. I was frustrated with how things were going. I get it. That's a genuine apology. I don't even really care if you say it. Again, remember, I don't hold on to grudges. Everyone deserves a second chance. But to be able to acknowledge your own emotions, controlling your reactions, if you can fix that, I'm telling you, trading gets easier." Hey, chat cut out for me while talking about UNG. You think 28.30 in the ballpark? That would be great. I wouldn't complain about that. Colton, I think the first resistance is going to be the 24s. I really think this tractor beam up here in the 26, 27 range would be where I probably should start taking more profits. I mean, again, you can trade around a position. But I could see it coming into this. And then maybe it happens next week. If we're lucky. Again, I'm not a weather forecaster, but I do see that it's going to get cold. You better load up on the gas. Any other questions? It's funny, I can see the... is Denver cold? 60s or 70s, but we're going to get colder next week. It's been getting into the 40s at night. People are running heat. I don't run heat. I sleep hot. That's why I moved here. I hate the Southeast. I hate hot temperatures, and I hate humidity. I'd rather dry up like a raisin than sweat to death every day. Yep, same here. I love sleeping when it's cold outside. And you have to remember, dry heat, dry temperatures don't affect you as much as moisture, right? Because sweating naturally is what? When you sweat, you get trying to cool your body. When you live somewhere with high humidity, it feels colder than it is when it's damp and cold. I recommend everyone move to Denver or Fort Collins, actually Colorado Springs, or Summit County. Move out to Silverthorne, Dillon. Awesome places. Any other questions? I appreciate y'all. I think Mike with the Colton with the super chat. It's been a while. Maybe I'm not perfect, so people are like, well, you're only good as your last trade. Yeah. Oh, hey, cat. I am. I don't know if you can hear her purring. You want to say something? All right, good chat. Yeah, you're only as good as your last trade. I hope people realize that there is trying to guide people as best I can, and I'm not always right. And if you're right and you're right and I'm not, I'm never gonna be the type to be jelly or jealous. People who short tech, somebody was like, man, I've owned SQQ and Soxus. I'm like, oh, I am not jealous. I am excited. Tell me about your profits. Tell me about your profits, because you just absolutely smashed it. Home run, grand slam. What to look for in the first hour in the morning? Good question, Joe. Before the open, you're going to have Citigroup, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, United Healthcare all release their earnings. I would watch those particular names, how they react. And then worst case scenario, because this is a good question. I was thinking about this earlier today. Talked about in the Discord room. Would you be surprised if the 361 to 362 area came into play? Oh, is retail sales tomorrow? Oh, yeah. I bet they're going to come in. Remember, retail sales is affected by gasoline. I imagine it's going to come in line. I don't know. Good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. I don't know yet. Still trying to figure that out. Today's news was neutral and market reacted. Good. It acted goodly. I know that's not a word. I would probably watch. Let me pull up the 60-minute chart for y'all. Get in here. Let me zoom out. I would anticipate. I said like 361 to 350. I don't know. That's a big range. Not 355. 359, 361. If you see a pullback there, to me, that's where a lot of this support should be held, right? These were temporary. This was the floor, but broke down from, looked above and failed, chop, popped and failed. You see how you've got like at least 7 or 8 times where this zone mattered. Now, again, you could draw it down to 356. I think that would be the hard line in the sand. But hopefully that makes sense. I don't think we'll take out below 359 with any sustainability. If we pull back, and again, because if these banks come out and say, hey, we're we're laying off people, we're saving money, we've cut all of our mortgage brokers out, we're, charging higher interest rates, we're doing really good. We love high interest rates because they do. I mean, think about it. They're charging 6 and 7, 8% loans and paying out what in your savings account? 0.0, no, you know what I mean? 1%, 2%, like that's their spread. That's how they make money. They are loving it. Your savings are paying 2.9. I don't even know what mine is. I mean, I don't even care because who's old enough to remember when your savings account paid 6 and 7%? You actually had competition for your money. Instead of YOLOing in the stock market every day, people were like, oh, I got 6%, 7% in my savings account. That's awesome. That's safe. I'll buy a CD. Certificate of deposit, if you remember those. They're still around. Oh, I'll leave it in my money market account. It pays a great return. Banks are hosing people with these spreads. Absolutely hosing you and me. Paying out freaking 3% or less. Charging 6, 7, 8%. That spread is a mile wide. It's a joke. Yeah, net interest margin plus all the dang fees. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, don't even talk to me about the fees. I mean, it's crazy. Like, they'll delay you 1 to 3 days to send money, but you overpay or make a mistake, you get charged in like 30 seconds. It's hard to send money, but if you make a mistake, you get freaking slapped immediately with a charge. Any other questions? Good. I apologize that this didn't happen at a higher level. I mean, again, this is hard, y'all, but you knew this was coming. As long as you knew this was coming, you did not have blinders on and did not stay short. If you just closed your shorts and you didn't go long, who cares? That's still a win. If you closed shorts and went long, congratulations. If you're just still watching, congratulations. You're not getting beat up. If you can win now, wait for a bull market. You're going to be like, man, I missed the days where I actually had to think about what I had to do. I remember Dan was like talking about all these. It was hard. Now it's like, all right, wait for the 20-day pullback. Oh, there we go. Buy it. Oh, cool. Oh, it's turnaround Tuesday. Cool. Oh, after this August, September swoon, buy the market and ride it up into freaking end of the year, or usually January effect. I mean, you guys don't even know how easy it's about to get at some point. All right, there's no more questions. Just pray this bear market blows out quicker. I don't want to see another 1 or 2 years of a bear market. That would be so boring. Well, not boring, but you know what I mean. This is hard. It's going to get tricky. I appreciate the love, the support. Again, I do this to help others. If you are willing to help others, I'm telling you, you will benefit. If you're struggling, you're listening, and you're genuinely trying, you're not like, hey, Dan, tell me what the market's going to do tomorrow. No. You want to learn? You got to stop by the Discord room. I would subscribe again. Oh, I hate trying to like market it. Yeah, there's 50 videos plus. I'm back to basics. If you've thought about it, I've explained it. Things that you probably haven't thought about: window dressing, bull bear traps, how the market plays seasonally. I mean, the mindset of trading, probability based trading, multi-day ranges. I mean, there's a million of them. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. Maybe I'll be able to drop the link in the chat. Here we go. Here we go. Where are you? Back to basics. There's also 101s. Here. Look at all these videos, y'all. Options expiration. Why does it matter? How to pick bottom to tops. Is trading an art? Yeah, it is. Because if every in-depth analysis. Yep. Time versus price correction. Top 50 trading rules. Scalping. How to trade the Monday and Tuesday before the FOMC. How to layer into a trade. Amateur hour, first hour of trading, the games that are played. Cup and handles. Options expiration, pin action. Why stops matter. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Beware of holding onto losers. AMC and GameStop. All right. I got to run. I'm getting a phone call. I'll talk to y'all later.